Okay, we are back with Phase 2 of our MCU tier list.
Nice.
We've got the next set of films that came in. This is starting in 2013. Only ran 2 years, running to 2015, a very short section. It's kind of an odd one because
it's when they got into like 2 movies every year.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But also this did not, unlike Phase 1, which was basically a whole set story. Mm-hmm. Phase 2 kind of wasn't that. Like it didn't it ended with Ant-Man, but that wasn't like Avengers. It's really like Phase 2 is part 1 of the next story.
Yeah. Well, it's also interesting that it's the first that basically they didn't just have like direct follow-ups to just all the Phase 1 stuff. It was a mix of like sequels to that and then new things.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which
is interesting.
Yeah. Okay, so we start off with Iron Man 3.
Yep.
You start off Phase 2 here.
Okay, sure.
Yeah.
So Iron Man 3, obviously, historically, that I've tended to be a little bit down on it. Mm-hmm. A lot of that was just disappointment. Like, it was more about expectations and disappointment because I was very excited about the whole Shane Black doing Iron Man 3 because, he had come off... I mean, Kiss Kiss Bang Bang...
Yeah.
Which was a Shane Black film that had Robert Downey Jr. in it, which came not too long before Iron Man. Mm-hmm. That was literally a huge part of what led to the MCU as we know it, and basically the first Iron Man being the way it was. Because after Kiss Kiss Bang Bang came out, and it was well received, but did not do well, commercially, like box office, it kind of flopped. And around the same time, Jon Favreau had the movie Zathura.
Right.
Which is kind of like Jumanji in space, basically.
Yeah, I saw that.
And that also, did, well critically and stuff like that, but basically flopped. And so, Jon Favreau and Robert Downey Jr. were both looking for a hit, basically. Mm-hmm. They were looking for something to really kind of get their careers going, because they were both, kind of jazzed about what they were doing, but unfortunately... had just taken a real big hit commercially. And so they kind of started, talking, and that essentially led to Iron Man 1 being done the way it was. So, when I heard about Shane Black doing Iron Man 3, I was just like, oh, that's just perfect. I mean, going back to his history with, writing the Lethal Weapon series and all that stuff, I'm like, his sensibility will be so perfect for Iron Man, mix of action, comedy, and blah, blah, blah. And the movie's, it's just disappointing.
Yeah.
A lot of the comedy feels really awkward and, bolted on.
Yeah.
A lot of it's just very silly.
It feels like it was touched up by someone who wasn't really...
A lot of it's just very silly, which, can work in other things, but, it was way too far.
Wasted Sam Rockwell as the bad guy.
No, that was 2.
Oh, that was 2. That's right.
Yeah.
Who's the bad guy in 3 then?
3 is Mandarin /
yes,
Killian or whatever.
Killian, yeah, which was what's his name from Memento there.
Yeah. But yeah, I mean, there were fun things, what they did with the Mandarin was kind of fun, even though ultimately it was sort of also disappointing because it was well, we want to see the real Mandarin.
Yeah.
So yeah, it was just real.
Still waiting.
It was just real the inconsistent the tonal inconsistencies and just but
coming right off of a year earlier.
Yeah.
Avengers, and then getting
I liked the idea of him Tony struggling with the PTSD of what he went through in Avengers, because ultimately he's just a guy.
Yeah,
he's not a god. He's not a super soldier.
Yeah.
So the idea that that was a cool idea, but it just didn't really land. Mm-hmm. So that being said, I feel that over time and different rewatches and stuff like that, I have softened a little bit on this one, but I still don't super dig it. I am going to put it D.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Because I don't really like it.
Oh, fair.
But it's not complete disaster. It's not an F. And it would be if other things were in D, they would probably come after this.
Yeah, it's a high D.
It's a high D.
Yeah, okay.
Not to be confused with Heidi.
Heidi, yeah.
Yeah.
I'm basically the same thing. I find this movie, like, my hopes and wishes for what they showed were were quite tall.
Yeah.
And it kind of disappointed me. I still kind of find it a bit fun. It's all
not terrible.
It's all the same things. I find the problem with Iron Man 2. Where, like, I like half this movie and the other half I am so.
The problem with it is that it's not Iron Man 1.
Yeah, that's the thing. So I'm basically, I'm going to put it right next to Iron Man 2 here. I don't know. You know,
Which one you prefer?
I'm going to be a little bit generous and put it on this side.
Sure. If you prefer it over 2. Yeah. A lot of people do.
Yeah.
You would not be alone. So it is a very.
I feel once again like I feel like now
I'm the outlier with how much I dislike
I'm
it.
really bagging on 2 by doing this. But look, 2 is still a C, not a D.
Yeah.
So,
No, I feel like I'm the outlier
Yeah.
in how much I dislike it.
Yeah.
And I basically have admitted that largely it was due to disappointment. But I really just think it's just not very good, to be honest.
Well, speaking of movies in the MCU that people like to bag on,
Thor: The Dark World.
Thor: The Dark World.
Yeah. I mean, this one is even more hated than like Hulk or Iron Man 2, I feel.
Yeah.
Like, this one usually gets cited as one of the worst.
I, not too long ago, maybe at most 2 years ago, rewatched it.
Yeah.
And I was like, why do I dislike this movie so much? It's not the best,
Yeah.
but it's still kind of a good movie. It's got a real good bad guy, like a real strong bad guy.
I forgot I was supposed to be going first.
Yeah.
So.
No.
Whatever.
You kicked it off. Yeah. I don't know. Like, what are your... How do the elements of the Dark World sit for you? Like,
Yeah, I think it's fine. It's not great, but it's not as bad as people say. Like, people always like really trash it and say it's like one of the worst and all this stuff. And I'm like, I just don't see it. Also, I'm a sucker for the meow meow joke.
Yeah.
Which is like gets me every time.
Yep.
And just the whole actually there's a bunch of jokes I really like in this one, like with the whole like throwing things into the like the portal thing.
Yeah.
And then he like throws the keys, the car keys,
in
and
there,
then they don't come back because they were just told sometimes things don't come back.
And he throws the keys
and they're
in
just gone. And then there's like the beat, and then were those the car keys?
Yeah,
Just stuff like that. Yeah. Like, there's some really good jokes in this one.
I mean, as far as humor in Marvel movies go, and this might just be Chris Hemsworth's performances.
Yeah.
Like, I think it's got the Thor films all have some of the best consistent humor. Like, it may not always be necessarily appropriate for the movie. You know, we'll talk about that later with some of the other films.
Yeah.
But it's always like, oh, like that was a good joke.
Yeah.
You know, and I think the Dark World.
Sorry.
It happens. Falls into that category.
Yeah.
So where are you dropping the Dark World?
So I'll put it in C after Iron Man 2.
After Iron Man 2. Okay. Yeah.
I like Iron Man 2 better.
Right. I'm going to toss it up in B. I'm going to put it after Hulk.
Yeah. Well, you did say that you've enjoyed it more.
Yeah.
So you put it more like where I would put the first one.
Yeah. It's got great humor, like cool action scene at the end there with when the ship comes through and all that. Like, they break a lot of stuff.
All that conversions.
Yeah, the conversion stuff is crazy.
There's some really cool stuff, like how they keep going through different portals. So like Mjolnir just keeps trying to like return back to him. Yeah. So it just keeps going up and down through trying to go through space, and then it's great.
Yeah, definitely like fun with Mjolnir will go miles for me. Always, because it's also something they've always been consistent with.
Yeah.
In all the movies where Thor shows up, like, what kind of goofy thing are we going to do with Mjolnir that's going to turn out to be beneficial in the long run?
That whole kind of thing culminates in like some possibly too much goofiness later on.
Oh, sure.
You know, we're not quite there yet.
Yeah.
All
right. Next, we got Captain America, Winter Soldier.
Yeah. Can I go first?
Yes.
Okay, S.
Yeah.
My favorite MCU movie. It still is. After all these years. It's a masterpiece. It's right there, I think. Right?
That one? Yeah, there we go.
Yeah.
S.
It's an absolute masterpiece. It is.
Let's not. We'll just throw it up here. I'm just gonna put it right up here next to you. It absolutely is.
Yeah, it's basically a perfect movie. It's the best depiction of like a lot of the characters in terms of like characterization and what they get to do. I mean, it's such a jump forward from Iron Man 2, but also even Avengers for Natasha, like for Black Widow. Like, it's the best Black Widow movie, and it's not even a Black Widow movie. Like, she's so good in this. And their chemistry of, like, their friendship is so good. And it's the best, like, it's the best Nick Fury movie. Yeah. Because, like, Fury actually gets to do, like, a bunch of
all
really
sorts of cool stuff. Yeah.
Just on his own. I mean, he gets his own whole action sequence, which is one of the best action scenes.
That car chase is MCU, amazing.
With that car chase.
Yeah.
And all the, like, cool stuff with all his shield car gadgets and stuff.
Yeah.
I love how they even had the reference to the flying, the flying capabilities being malfunctioning and not being available.
Yeah. Very good.
Which is a great
little nod to the comics there. Yeah.
But yeah, it's so good. Like, and it's such an awesome plot. Like the way it's more of like a spy thriller kind of plot. It's so like airtight and ironclad.
It's so amazing how they incorporate so much stuff, so many other characters.
Yeah.
Like we've got other super characters in this. Without it without it just becoming like another Avengers film, it's still a Captain America movie.
The twist, it's revealed that like Shield has been like largely actually Hydra the whole time, and all that stuff. Like so, just absolutely amazing. Yeah, it's so good. Oh, and that's not even talking about like Bucky.
The Bucky
Winter Soldier
stuff.
himself and that reintroduction. Because of course, again, comic book readers will know, like, they know who the Winter Soldier is. They know it's Bucky. They know where this is going. Yeah. But, like, it was so well done. And the action was so good because they didn't need to. It wasn't like
we don't have anybody
CGI.
Yeah, exactly.
Like grandiose,
it's very
superhero type action. It was.
There's nobody flying. There's nobody. Yeah.
It was all very conventional, like action movie action.
Lots of punching.
like incredible fights. Like the actual choreography and stuff is so good. Yeah. Like when you see like when like that whole sequence on like the freeway and the whole like. And then when the Winter Soldier shows up and the tide just completely turns, and then the fight that him and Steve have, and just like it's so well done. Obviously, we get our introduction of Falcon here too, which is again amazing. I mean, even just opening the movie with that simple like introduction of just like him jogging. And,
I love it. On your left,
passing him over and over.
Oh, like it's gold!
And what an introduction for a character.
There is so much stuff set up in this that are still running things like right up until the end of Infinity War. Like
I can't gush enough about this one. It's still my favorite one by far.
You know what? I think I'm gonna watch it tonight.
It's an absolute masterpiece.
Absolutely.
Captain America: The Winter Soldier.
Your first S, 100%. My second, but better than Thor.
And Thor. Even the Thor, you were a little bit,
like I said,
sure
and a half.
You weren't sure on, All
right. So then we got Guardians of the Galaxy.
The big sidestep, the big left turn.
Even for comic book readers, Guardians of the Galaxy, was something different,
as we know now. Yeah, because with the hindsight of like looking back, you know, it's kind of the James Gunn thing that I mean, he is a big comic book nerd. He knows the comic book lore a lot, but he also is very much not afraid to like mold it into like his own thing and not really worry too much about like there are characters that he's like, you want to do it comic accurate. And then there are other characters where you're just like, it doesn't really matter. No one really cares if like Drax is comic accurate or not.
Sure,
you know,
sure.
Like, I mean,
I care. Yes, but I also knew that you couldn't do.
Yeah, I care to an extent in the sense that like, as somebody who read comics as a kid and sort of grew up on them, like, it would be nice to see like really comic accurate versions of everything. But I also know that like you kind of have to pick and choose a little bit. There are lots of characters where, like, honestly, if I'm being honest, it probably doesn't really matter.
I liked old comic book Drax. Yeah. I liked Guardians of the Galaxy Drax.
Yeah.
What I didn't like was that they just retconned comic book Drax into...
That is stupid.
And because Guardians of the Galaxy was so popular, they just basically turned all the characters in the comics into the characters that they are in the movies, bringing those into parody, thus basically, like, retroing or retconning like what the Guardians of the Galaxy was for... And I was like, you couldn't just keep them separate? But I also understand, like, Guardians of the Galaxy was a huge hit.
Yeah.
It totally made
which
sense.
Which is interesting, of course, because it is. I mean, it was kind of risky.
Oh, so risky.
Because it was a completely different genre, a bunch of characters no one knows it about, you know.
The big thing where I think was sort of a bit of maybe a risk mitigation was... didn't need to know anything about comic books.
Yeah.
It attracted a lot of people, and including... I've got friends
because you can bring in the sci-fi audience...
Yeah.
That wouldn't necessarily be interested in superhero stuff per se.
Exactly. Like, I have a friend who cares nothing about superheroes. Loves Guardians of the Galaxy. Because it's a space adventure movie. And that's what he likes.
Yeah.
You know? And
so, for me... I also find the Guardians movies, in general, a little bit hard to rate because they are so different.
Yeah.
And it's like, how do you put them against the other Marvel movies? Because they feel so different. And it's like, I just kind of have to treat it as like, well, just like... if they're just movies, like, what do I think? I'm going to put Guardians in... I'm going to put it in... This is Guardians 1, right?
Yes, yeah.
Okay, I'm going to put it in... I'm going to put it in A.
Yeah?
At the back. Like,
right at the end? Right at the end there?
After Avengers, at the end. Because I think it's really good, but I do feel like it's kind of... It's sort of like what Iron Man 1 was, where it's like... It's really good, but it feels like there's room to go up from here.
Yeah.
It feels a little bit more, like, foundational.
I'm putting it right next to Iron Man for that reason.
Yeah.
Like,
rather than being, like, the ultimate version of itself, it feels kind of like it's more setting up something. But it's really good.
Yeah.
I like it.
And, you know, nicely we'll get, you know, all those characters. There's so much likable characters in that, you know, throughout the thing. Yeah. So, All right. Next we have Avengers... Age of Ultron,
so
which was kind of the second Avengers film, but not the last one in the phase, which was a weird choice. But I guess it's just how.
Well, that's normal. Like, other than the first one,
there was always a movie that came afterwards.
Yeah, there's always kind of like a
postscript.
Postscript movie.
Yeah.
So Age of Ultron, I think. I mean, it's pretty well known. Like, I've tended to be a little bit down on this one. I definitely think it's the weakest of the Avengers branded movies. It hasn't really gotten better. I always keep, every time like a rewatch comes up, because like, you know, I'll go do rewatches because of like reaction or reactors and things like that. And every time it comes up, I'm always like, I want to like it more. Like, I'm always like, is this the time where I'm going to see like the hidden, like, cool thing about this movie that really, and it just never happens. I just think it has some good elements, but I feel like it's one of those movies that just doesn't work as a whole, and it feels like less than the sum of its parts because I just don't feel like it gels. It also had by far the most behind the scenes problems and issues of any of these movies, and honestly, it was so bad that like, we're lucky that we got any more MCU after this. Yeah. Like, we're lucky that this didn't basically signal the end of the MCU.
It was
an absolute nightmare.
Yeah.
And so I try not to be too harsh on it because of that, but at the end of the day, you do have to judge the
movies. It's the movie it is.
You have to judge the movies by what's on screen. It's also the one that has, like, probably the most egregious, at least for Marvel, because, well, I mean, it's the last one that Joss Whedon had anything to do with, but it has the most, like, weird Joss Whedon-y stuff that you're just like, really?
I mean,
why is that in
that
there?
was a movie, I remember we saw it in the theater together, and I came out of that movie mad.
Yeah.
And like, not really mad at the movie, I was mad at Joss Whedon. Like, I was mad at what
especially because at that time, you were still really, like, fully enamored with the first Avengers movie.
Yes, exactly.
And that felt like such a big drop.
Yeah.
That being said, I mean, you were also mad about Quicksilver, to be fair.
Yeah.
But yeah, in terms of introducing new characters, especially with Wanda, Quicksilver to a lesser degree just because he wasn't used as much, and obviously was there basically just for the purposes of what they did with him.
Yeah.
He was really used more to like fuel Wanda's story more than as a character in his own right, and Hawkeye to some degree.
Sure.
But I still liked them. I thought they were well done. There's some really funny stuff early on, like with like language and like all that opening battle, or the whole when
they're all trying to pick the hammer up on the
or when Strucker is like he's like rallying his people, like the Hydra guys, and he's just like, never give up, never, we're gonna go there, we're gonna fight them, blah blah, and then like he just like quietly turns to his enemy, he's like, we're gonna surrender, and then, it's like stuff like that, like it was just there was some cool stuff, but it just really was not the sum of as big as the sum of its parts. It just really didn't gel as a whole thing. I would put it at put C at the end there. Yeah.
At the end?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a tough call because there is some really cool stuff. Ultron.
I kind of agree with the... For me, it is one I have gone back to a number because I'm like, there's some... And I've surprisingly become less and like, I don't even care about the Quicksilver stuff anymore, which is weird. Yeah. Because like I've rationalized, I guess, because Well,
because you understand that it was never intended to be any more than what it was.
Yeah, exactly. And
I mean, I know Ultron, you're a big...
The James
Vision,
Spader...
I totally forgot about Vision.
Vision is amazing. Yeah. And then adding in the whole... adding in James Spader's Ultron performance. Yeah. Like, I have just gone back and rewatched, like, just the parts with him being Ultron.
Yeah. Okay, you know what? I changed my mind.
Yeah.
Put it...
Top C?
Put it at the top of C.
Top C?
Because I don't like it as much as I like the other ones.
Yeah.
Because it annoys me more, but it does have more good stuff overall.
I'm putting it at the top of C.
I'm going to give it some credit for the fact that even though I'm mad that it's less than the sum of its parts, some of those parts are so good that,
And also, with rewatchings, the story arc of, like, the main story arc of Ultron and Avengers and all of that it's good character stuff. Yeah. The actual, beat to beat stuff in it is where it falls down. Yeah. But the actual overall story of Tony's hubris and all of that.
I just feel like it was a bit heavy handed. It wasn't played as
it's all the Josh
as I feel like
and all that. But so it's top of C for I'm almost like bottom B
because it does those really good elements.
It doesn't.
So good.
It doesn't hang with these two. Yeah. So I'm putting it down there.
Fair enough.
All right. Let's get back to some comedy.
Yeah, Ant-Man.
With Ant-Man.
Yeah.
Final movie of Phase 2.
Yeah.
2015, summer
Ant-Man
2015.
is in a lot of ways, is sort of the first one that really is just kind of straight up a comedy. Mm-hmm. They all have a fair amount of comedy in them. Yeah. And, and obviously Guardians has a lot of comedy. Yeah. But I mean, Guardians has a lot of comedy, but it's also being that it's very much a James Gunn movie, it's a lot of comedy, but it also starts with his mom dying of cancer.
Exactly.
And him being abducted by aliens as a child.
The comedy is there to offset the dark, right? Versus Ant-Man is
it has you weeping within, the first 2 minutes. Yeah. But then later on it has the most ridiculous comedy you can imagine. Yeah. So Ant-Man is more
something. Those two elements is something they will keep going forward with on all the Guardians movies.
Ant-Man is more of a traditional comedy.
Yeah,
Paul Rudd feels very at home in that movie. Yeah, it just feels like a good old fashioned down home comedy.
Paul Rudd being Ant-Man is the breath of fresh air we didn't know Marvel needed until it happened, and we were like,
it's a bit of a palate cleanser.
Yes.
That's why they put
He is going to bump up weirdly with all the other characters in the best way.
Yeah. And maybe that's why they put it as the end of this phase, because it's this nice little palate cleanser. Yeah. Where before you go into the next. Now, for ranking, Ant-Man 1, it is really good. I'm going to put it B at the top.
Top of B.
Above,
top of B.
Yeah. I think it's good. I think it's I don't know. I'm as you know, I tend to be a little tougher on comedy than maybe on other things, and it's good. I really like it. But yeah, it's not my favorite.
Same things. I really like it. I'm putting it at the bottom of A.
Okay.
So it's kind of just slightly higher than yours.
Sure. Yeah.
It's such a fun
crosses
movie.
that threshold.
It's such a fun movie. I won't know until exactly we get there how the other Ant-Man movies are going to rank up.
Yeah.
But I really love it. So much fun. It's another one that I've seen multiple times. Introduces some smaller characters that we see going forward. It's it's great.
Yeah.
All right. So that brings us to the end of phase 2.
Yeah. So first couple little sort of slight deviations there with. I guess we had the first big deviation was with you putting Thor so high.
Yeah.
The first Thor.
Yeah.
But a little bit more deviation here with the my putting Iron Man 3 lower and just a little bit of
some of the ordering a little bit different, but
not a huge.
You got the first D on there.
Yeah, not a huge difference. I don't.
But
think.
yeah. Okay, so that's the end of our phase 2 ranking. We're going to take a little break here.
We have yet to reach anywhere. Sorry, just
worries.
To reiterate, but we've yet to reach anywhere like
huge.
You really love something that I really don't like, or vice versa.
Yeah. Not quite there yet. Not quite there yet. Yeah. All right. So we'll just take a little break here, and I'm just probably load us up for phase 3.
Phase 3.